Hi everybody, I hope you're doing really well, and this video is going through a standing sequence for Pilates that you may choose to do as a bit of a warm-up before you come down onto your mat. The aim is to get you to reconnect with your breathing and those centering muscles. Get your body used to a little bit of movement, get your circulation flowing, loosen any stiffness through your joints. And of course, in standing, it's always a good opportunity for us to challenge our balance. You could also do this sequence on its own, so don't feel like you need to do it prior to coming down to the mat. Maybe try and remember a couple of the moves and see if you can practice them in the kitchen while you're boiling the kettle or whilst you're stood and brushing your teeth. Okay, here goes. So find a nice empty space and we're going to bring our feet hip distance apart. Make sure you've got equal weight through both legs and your legs aren't pressed out, they're nice and soft spongy knees. Place your hands on the bum of your pelvis and let's do a few pelvic tilts from here. So we're imagining our pelvis is like a bucket of water and we're just tipping the water out of the front and the back of that bucket, and then we're going to come to where that pelvis rests level. We'll come back to the pelvis in a minute, but let's just think about the rib cage. Imagine two spring coils connecting the rib cage down to the waist. We just want to slightly tighten those spring coils so that the rib cage isn't flaring forwards and you've got that nice flat waist. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in, just shrug those shoulders up. And as you breathe out, melt the shoulders down as if you're trying to tuck your shoulder blades into your back pockets. Finally, let's grow tall through the spine, so you're just lengthening through the crown of your head. Gentle tuck of the chin to the chest. Okay, let's come back to that pelvic region. Gently press your fingertips just inside your pelvic bones and close your eyes or focus on a spot in front of you. Now we're going to connect with our breathing, which is something that's really good to do, especially in these times where things just feel a little bit crazy. It's always good to pause and enjoy the moment that you're in. So start to take nice deep breaths, and that breath should come right down to the base of your lungs. Now on your next breath out, you're going to gently start to think about drawing your lower tummy towards your spine, feeling a sense of tightening across the front of the pelvis as if you've just tightened your belt. Keep on holding that tension as you breathe, working no harder than 50%. A few more breaths. And relax. And your next breath out, you're going to work on the pelvic floor. So drawing the back passage up towards the front passage and lifting up towards your heart. That sense of tightening should now come from inside the pelvis. That muscle that you use to stop yourself from peeing mid-flow or passing wind. Keep it squeezed as you breathe. And then relax and open your eyes. And let's begin to move. So we're just going to rest the hands back down by the side, and as I do that you'll notice how I just set my shoulders into place. So I'm opening through the fronts of the shoulders, I've got a little bit of tension through the tummy, and then I'm just going to come up onto tiptoes and then lower back down again. So imagining someone's just lifted me up through the crown of my head with a piece of string, and I'm really trying to avoid my feet rolling in as I come up, so keeping my heels and knees in line. And when I come back down, it's a nice soft pressure into the floor. So imagine there's two tiny pins underneath your heels. You don't want to squash down on them. Let's get some arm movement going. So thinking about that rib to waist connection, I'm going to float one arm up towards the ceiling and back down again. I'm going to repeat that on the opposite side. So I'm avoiding that flaring forwards of the rib cage by tightening those spring coils. And as my arms float up, I'm sliding my shoulder blades down towards my waist so I don't hitch through the shoulder and close that space down between my neck and my shoulders. Let's do one more. Can feel my calves getting a little bit warmer now. Okay, I'm going to float up onto tiptoes and I'm going to hold that lift. And this time I'm going to come into a double arm lift and I'm going to circle the arms round and down. So it's a good time to open up through the fronts of the shoulders. Oh, I can feel that challenge now through my ankles. Bit of a balance challenge. Let's squeeze that pelvic floor at the same time. Two more. And this time I'm going to float the arms to the side, lower the heels down, really set those shoulders down, and I'm coming into my Cleopatra. Good. Drawing the tummy towards the waist. We can think about being nice and tall. We can think about little lemons between our waist and our elbows, and we're just gently squeezing into them, drawing the shoulder blades down as we go. Breath in as you come in and breath out as you float away. Let's add a little bit of movement at the legs now. So as the elbows draw in, I'm just going to gently come down into a little squat and push back up to stand again. So just start with that squat, nice and shallow. You can always go deeper as you're feeling a little bit warmer. Things to think about here is just have a peek down towards your feet. You should still be able to see your toes. If your toes are hiding behind your knees, you're coming a little bit too far forwards like I'm doing now. So you just want to sit back. Oh, I've lost it. Imagine there's a chair behind you and you're perching your bottom on it. You also want to avoid those knees collapsing in as you come down. So imagine that there's a band tied around the outside of your knees and you're just pressing in. We're going to hold from here, we're going to reach down and we're going to pulse. So I'm just going to glance on the floor in front of me. So I'm keeping the back of my neck nice and long. Coming into my hundreds exercise now, so I can really tighten those tummy muscles. I'm just going to turn side on. We want to keep the spine nice and long, so we're not sticking the bottoms out, we're tucking the tailbone underneath, and I've got that diagonal line coming through the spine. Now you can stay here of course, or if you want to challenge your balance a little bit more, we can peel one heel off the floor, and keep pulsing. Or maybe you could try and come into one leg stand, and we're squatting through that other leg, so it's a really big challenge. I'm going to touch down and I'm going to try that on the other leg. So either with the heel lifted or maybe with the foot lifted. And again, you can see it's harder for me to not let that knee collapse in. So imagine you've got headlights shining out the front of your knees and you've got to keep them shining forwards. Don't let them cross over the middle of the road. Good. Legs should be feeling really nice and warm now. Okay, and then lower down, and we're going to come for a nice slow push up to stand, just to challenge ourselves a little bit more. Okay, just roll through those shoulders and shake through those legs. Let's come through to a nice side through body stretch now. So we're going to step the feet slightly wider than the hips, turning into that 10 to 2 position, tucking the tailbone underneath, and we're going to reach out to the side, drop the shoulders down. Stretching across, reaching through the body, as if someone's got a piece of rope either side of your hands and they're just pulling you with a tug of war. I do apologise, that's my son in the other room. If you heard that little voice, Mummy, I will go and get him in a second. Okay, let's come through to our mermaid stretch now. So we're going to take one hand and we're going to come up and over and just let the other hand rest down on your leg. And you just glance to the underside of that shoulder. Now you'll notice my shoulder hasn't closed down. I'm sliding down into that back pocket with my shoulder blade. And I'm going to come back up and over to the opposite side. These feel really nice just to open up through the side of the body. So do one more on each side. Maybe going a little bit deeper. And really pushing into that opposite leg. And come back up. And then I'm going to bring my feet back together. I'm going to finish with a nice roll down. So standing up nice and tall, imagining you're standing against a wall. And you're going to peel your spine away from that wall. Keep the knees soft to begin with, rolling down through every bone in the spine, keeping your weight over the front of your feet, coming to where it's comfortable, and then stacking back up to stand, and really using that draw of tummy to spine before you come to stand. Let's do a few of these and take them a little bit deeper. I'll just show you side on how that looks. Really slowly, using that nice deep breath to take you further down. I'm trying to keep a little bit of weight out my heels. You'll notice your hips want to travel backwards. I've got one more. I'm going to do another one that felt really nice, and this time I'm just going to hang in that forwards fold. Imagine you're a rag doll. Just get any tension out the backs of your shoulders. Gently press your chin to your chest. And then from here, you could bring yourself down onto your mat or simply come back to stand. And hopefully, you'll be feeling ready for a little bit of your Pilates mat work now. Thanks, guys.